The message I want to share with you today is simple, yet life-changing. Turn your attention toward yourself. Hidden within these few words is a truth that has the power to transform every area of your life. When properly understood, this principle reveals the limitless potential that already exists within you. Many people misunderstand what it means to focus on themselves. From the perspective of the outer world, it may appear self-centered or selfish. Yet the opposite is true. Directing your awareness inward is one of the most sacred things you can do because it reconnects you with your true nature. You are not merely a physical body moving through time. You are not just a personality trying to navigate circumstances. At your core, you are consciousness itself. You are the awareness through which all experiences are known. When you focus on yourself, you are not giving attention to the limited version of you that reacts to the world. You are becoming aware of the deeper self that is united with the creative power behind all things. This deeper identity is the I am. It is the eternal awareness that exists before any label, role, or description is attached to it. It is the timeless presence that remains unchanged, regardless of appearances. You may wonder what this means for the people around you. Should they be ignored? Not at all. But understand this: people move in and out of your experience, while your consciousness remains the foundation of it all. Every relationship reflects something taking place within your own awareness. As Neville often taught, there is no one to change but self. As your self-concept changes, the world must respond. When you cultivate a new image of yourself and remain faithful to it, people and circumstances begin to mirror that transformation. This is not fantasy or blind optimism. It is the law of consciousness operating exactly as it was designed. Think of the prodigal son. He searched for fulfillment outside himself and wandered far from his true inheritance. His transformation began only when he remembered who he really was. The moment he reclaimed his identity, he found his way back to abundance. Many of us have done the same. We have looked to other people, achievements, and circumstances for validation. Yet everything we seek already exists within us. The kingdom has always been inside. The moment you turn inward and recognize your true nature, you begin to discover that what you desire is not something to obtain, but something to awaken to. Focusing on yourself goes far beyond positive thinking. It requires a complete shift in identity. It means consciously choosing the version of yourself you wish to be and occupying that state mentally and emotionally. This is where imagination becomes essential. Imagination is not make-believe. It is the creative force through which reality is shaped. Every visible result begins as an invisible assumption accepted within consciousness. To focus on yourself means seeing yourself not as you currently appear, but as you desire to be. Revise the stories you have been telling yourself. Release the old identity and step into the new one. In imagination, everything exists now. There is no waiting. There is only acceptance. See yourself living the life you want. Experience the confidence, peace, success, love, or fulfillment you desire. Feel it as though it is already true. Do not simply observe it from a distance. Become it. As you continue occupying this state, the outer world begins adjusting itself to reflect your inner transformation. Some people may naturally leave your experience, while others enter and align with your new state of being. Through it all, remember that you remain the operant power. You are the awareness through which every experience unfolds. When your attention rests on your true identity rather than changing appearances, you become steady and secure. The movements of the external world no longer shake you because you understand where real power resides. Some may say, I have imagined, I have focused on myself. Why haven't I seen results? The answer is persistence. Remain loyal to your assumption. continue identifying with the version of yourself you have chosen to become. Consider Joshua and the walls of Jericho. Day after day, there appeared to be no visible change. Yet, persistence eventually brought the walls down. In the same way, any barrier between you and your desire is sustained only by old assumptions. Continue walking in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, and those barriers must dissolve. Above all, remember this: feeling is the secret. Mental pictures alone are not enough. You must emotionally enter the reality you desire. Feel yourself already being the person you wish to become. When that feeling becomes natural, your outer world has no choice but to reflect it. It is essential that the state you desire feels natural to you. You must move beyond simply thinking about it and begin experiencing it as your reality. Let yourself feel the confidence, peace, fulfillment, and certainty that would exist if your desire were already realized. The more vivid and real this inner experience becomes, the more powerfully it impresses itself upon consciousness. As this feeling deepens, the outer world begins reflecting it back to you. What you see around you is only the visible expression of what you have accepted within. The external world does not create your reality. It mirrors the state you consistently occupy. Now let us explore a deeper truth behind the idea that people come and go. Hidden within these words is an important understanding about the nature of relationships and your role in shaping your experience. From the perspective of the physical world, it appears that people enter or leave our lives because of circumstances, decisions, or events beyond our control. Yet from the level of consciousness, a different picture emerges. Every person who appears in your experience reflects something taking place within your awareness. You are the storyteller of your life. Every individual who enters your world participates in the story you are consciously or unconsciously telling yourself. Some people arrive to teach valuable lessons. Some encourage your growth. Others offer companionship, support, and inspiration. A few remain for many years, while others appear only briefly. Regardless of their role, each person serves a purpose within your journey. Understand this clearly. Your deeper self is never powerless. While the conscious mind may feel as though life simply happens to it, your imagination is always active, shaping the experiences that unfold. As your self-concept evolves, your relationships naturally change as well. Individuals who resonate with your new assumptions are drawn into your experience. Those who no longer match your state may gradually fade from it. This is not punishment, rejection, or loss. It is simply the natural result of inner transformation. Think of consciousness as a radio receiver. When you adjust the frequency, a completely different station becomes available. The previous station still exists, but your attention is no longer tuned to it. In the same way, when you adopt a new state of consciousness, you begin experiencing people, opportunities, and circumstances that correspond with that new frequency. This realization removes much of the fear surrounding loss and abandonment. What appears to be losing someone is often nothing more than moving into a different state of being. Life begins reflecting your new assumptions, and your experiences adjust accordingly. This understanding also changes the way you approach relationships. Rather than searching for someone else to complete you, validate you, or provide what feels missing, you begin cultivating those qualities within yourself first. If you desire love, become familiar with the feeling of being loved. If you desire appreciation, experience yourself as valued and respected. If you long for harmony, establish harmony within your own consciousness. As these states become natural, the people who enter your life will reflect them. You may discover that existing relationships improve and transform. In other cases, entirely new people may appear who perfectly match the state you now occupy. Either way, the outer world responds to the inner shift. Never forget that consciousness is the source. The visible world possesses no independent creative power. It simply reflects what has already been accepted within. People appear and disappear from your experience according to the assumptions you consistently entertain. When you understand this, the need to force, manipulate, or control others begins to disappear. You no longer chase after people or cling to relationships out of fear. Instead, you devote your energy to becoming the person you desire to be, trusting that everything else will organize itself around that new identity. Some may ask, what about free will? Don't other people have their own choices? From the perspective of higher consciousness, there is only one infinite awareness expressing itself through countless forms. What appears to be separation is ultimately different expressions of the same divine source. Your responsibility is not to direct the actions of others. Your responsibility is to direct your own imagination, govern your assumptions, choose your state carefully. As you do, you will notice that people naturally respond in ways that correspond to that state. Imagine yourself directing a magnificent stage production. This production is your life. Not only are you the lead character, but you are also the writer and director. Every person who appears on the stage contributes to the unfolding story. As the director, you always have the ability to revise the script. You can change your assumptions, alter your expectations, and step into a completely new version of yourself. When you do, the story begins changing with you. This is why focusing on yourself is so important. It reminds you that you are not simply reacting to life. You are participating in its creation. Once this truth becomes clear, you stop being disturbed by who comes or goes. You recognize that every individual who enters your experience is playing a role in the unfolding of your journey, perfectly reflecting the state of consciousness you have chosen to occupy. Some individuals will play major roles throughout long chapters of your life, while others may appear only briefly before moving on. Regardless of how long they stay, each person arrives for a reason. They are drawn into your experience through the state of consciousness you occupy, contributing to the unfolding story of your life. You may wonder how it is possible to influence who comes into your life and who leaves it. The answer does not lie in controlling people or manipulating circumstances. The true power lies in transforming yourself. When you change your inner state, your outer world responds. As you become the person you desire to be, you naturally attract experiences, opportunities, and relationships that reflect that new identity. Think about the story of Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery, he had every reason to embrace bitterness and self-pity. Yet he refused to define himself by his circumstances. Instead, he remained faithful to a higher vision of himself. He identified with wisdom, leadership, and purpose. In time, the world reflected that inner conviction, and he rose to a position of tremendous influence and authority. The lesson is simple, yet profound. What happens around you is deeply connected to what is happening within you. As you cultivate the qualities, beliefs, and feelings you wish to experience, your environment gradually reshapes itself to match your inner world. This process is not about forcing outcomes or making others behave in certain ways. It is about becoming internally aligned with the life you desire. When your consciousness changes, your experience changes naturally. Take a moment to imagine this for yourself. Picture the version of you that already possesses everything you desire. See yourself carrying the confidence, peace, strength, and fulfillment that belong to that version of you. Feel what it would be like to wake up each day as that person. Now consider the kinds of relationships that would naturally surround someone living in that state. Do not focus on specific faces or names. Instead, focus on the quality of those connections. Feel the love, respect, support, understanding, and harmony that would naturally exist around you. When you return to your daily activities, carry that feeling with you. Let it influence your choices, your reactions, and your expectations. Allow it to become part of your identity. As you remain faithful to this new state, you may notice changes in your relationships. Some connections may naturally fade because they no longer reflect who you are becoming. Others may strengthen. New people may enter your experience who resonate with your transformed consciousness. This is not something to resist. It is a natural part of growth and expansion. Many people worry that focusing on themselves is selfish, yet the opposite is often true. One of the greatest contributions you can make to the world is to fully awaken to your own higher nature. When you become the best expression of yourself, you positively influence everyone around you. Your growth becomes an example. Your peace becomes contagious. Your confidence encourages others. Without trying to change anyone, you inspire transformation simply through the state you embody. As your awareness expands, you begin to recognize a deeper truth. The separation you once perceived between yourself and others starts to dissolve. You realize that life is interconnected in ways far greater than the mind can fully comprehend. When the ancient teaching declares, "I and my Father are one," it points to the recognition that all life emerges from the same divine source. This understanding is not about superiority. It is about unity. It is the realization that the same creative presence exists within all beings. As this awareness grows, love and compassion arise naturally. You stop viewing others as obstacles, competitors, or sources of validation. Instead, you begin seeing them as unique expressions of the same infinite consciousness. This shift changes the way you relate to people. You no longer seek relationships merely to receive something. You appreciate others for who they are rather than what they can provide. You recognize the divine spark within them because you have begun recognizing it within yourself. From this perspective, every relationship takes on deeper meaning. Every meeting, every conversation, every connection becomes part of a larger unfolding process. You understand that each person enters your experience with a purpose connected to your growth, learning, and expansion. Some individuals arrive to encourage and support you. Others appear to reveal hidden beliefs, challenge old limitations, or awaken greater levels of awareness. Even the difficult relationships can become valuable teachers when viewed from this higher perspective. As you continue focusing on your own consciousness, you begin to trust the flow of life more completely. You recognize that every encounter serves a purpose, and that each person who crosses your path contributes something meaningful to your journey of self-discovery and transformation. Other people may arrive in your life to encourage you, guide you, and help you grow. Some will remain beside you for many years, while others will share only a brief chapter of your journey. Yet every connection serves a purpose. Every encounter is meaningful. Each person is another expression of the same consciousness appearing in a different form. As you continue directing your attention inward and awakening to your true identity, you become like a deeply rooted tree. Storms may come and go. Seasons may change. People may enter and leave your experience, just as leaves appear and fall from the branches. But your foundation remains strong. You become anchored in something far greater than changing circumstances. This stability is not something you acquire. It is what you have always been. The more fully you align with your true nature, the more extraordinary your life begins to become. New possibilities open before you, and experiences that once seemed distant begin to feel natural and attainable. Of course, this transformation is not usually instant. It requires dedication. It requires faith in the unseen. Most importantly, it requires a willingness to stop identifying with the limited version of yourself and begin identifying with the infinite awareness that exists beyond appearances. As you move through your daily life, practice looking beyond the surface of things. Whenever you meet someone, whether they seem helpful or difficult, quietly recognize the divine presence within them. Instead of viewing them as separate from you, see them as another expression of the same creative source. As this understanding deepens, your relationships begin to change. You stop reacting so strongly to the behavior and opinions of others because you understand a deeper principle at work. You recognize that life continually reflects your own assumptions back to you. This realization carries tremendous power. If your world is reflecting your consciousness, then changing your inner state changes what is reflected. That is why focusing on yourself is so important. It is not about becoming self-absorbed or withdrawing from others. It is about understanding where true transformation begins. When you commit to embodying your highest conception of yourself, life responds. People who resonate with your new state naturally gravitate toward you. Relationships that support your growth become stronger. Connections that no longer match your consciousness may quietly fade away. Trust this process. Allow it to unfold without fear. Everyone who enters your experience and everyone who leaves it plays a role in your evolution. Nothing happens outside the larger movement of consciousness. Consider how this principle applies to different areas of your life. In relationships, rather than searching endlessly for the perfect partner, begin by cultivating within yourself the feelings you wish to experience. Feel loved, feel valued, feel understood. Experience companionship and harmony within your imagination first. As those feelings become natural, your outer world responds. Existing relationships may improve and deepen, or a new partner who reflects those qualities may appear. The same principle applies to your career. Instead of seeking approval, recognition, or validation from others, occupy the state of the successful person you wish to become. Feel the satisfaction of meaningful achievement. Feel the confidence of knowing your value. Feel the fulfillment of contributing your talents in ways that matter. As you remain faithful to that state, opportunities begin appearing that correspond to it. The right mentors, clients, collaborators, and circumstances find their way into your experience. The same is true in friendship. Rather than changing yourself to gain acceptance, choose authenticity. Become the kind of friend you wish to have. Embody sincerity, loyalty, honesty, and genuine connection. As you do, your social world naturally reorganizes itself. Relationships rooted in authenticity grow stronger, while those built upon pretense gradually lose their hold. In every area of life, your focus determines the direction of your experience. Whatever consistently occupies your attention gains creative power. When you focus on your true identity rather than the limitations of the ego, you align yourself with the deeper intelligence that shapes reality itself. You are not separate from this creative power. You are an expression of it. As your consciousness changes, life reorganizes itself accordingly. Every circumstance, every encounter, and every relationship mirrors the assumptions you hold about yourself. This is why changing your self-concept is so important. Accept a new assumption about who you are. Nurture it in imagination until it feels natural and real. Persist in it until it becomes your dominant state. When that happens, the outer world must eventually reflect it. So when I say focus on yourself, I am speaking about something far deeper than self-improvement. I am inviting you to return to the source of creation within you. Return to the awareness of I am. Stop waiting for circumstances to grant you permission to feel fulfilled, confident, loved, successful, or worthy. Give yourself that permission now. The power was never outside of you. It has always existed within your own consciousness. People will continue to enter and leave your experience. Conditions will change. Life will constantly move and rearrange itself. Yet the awareness that you truly are remains untouched by all of it. It does not come and go. It cannot be diminished. It does not need to be found because it was never lost. It is the silent presence beneath every experience. It is the creator behind every story. It is the light that remains unchanged regardless of what appears on the screen of life. Recognize it. Live from it. Trust it. Then allow the world to do what it has always done. Faithfully reflect the assumptions you have accepted as true about yourself. And remember this above all else. There is no one to change but self. When you finally understand what the true self is, you discover that it contains everything.